if you go for breakfast at 5 in the morning, you end up having breakfast with the girls from the clubs and the taxi drivers and the factory workers that are on their way to work. It's an interesting time of morning. It's when night meets the day. You can see why I like it in Taiwan. It's such a sweet life. All I do is hike in the mountains, hang around the harbor, watching the boats come and go, and going out for delicious breakfast, lunch, and or dinner. Simple. Such a simple life. So great. So I remember what they call this now. Xiaobing youtiao. And now that I'm having it again, I'm thinking that the eggs are sweet. It's not the veggies, it's the eggs. It's really weird. It's a really weird combination of flavors and textures. You get grease, flakiness, saltiness, and sweetness. It's pretty good. It's early. I got up earlier than I want. I got up at 3. Having a hard time this time of year acclimatizing. But essentially I'd rather get up 2 hours earlier than I want than 2 hours later than I want. So 3 is better than 7. You can always have a nap. It's fun to go out in the morning. I do my best thinking in the morning. I like walking around in the morning. So guess where I'm going? Breakfast. So quiet. First thing in the morning. You see some wild cats in the morning. In the old days, Kaohsiung was a pretty wild town. There's still some remnants of that. Some clubs, some dance halls, some barber shops, some party houses. I love this. Look how quiet this street is first thing in the morning. I don't know what you call this time of day when the nightclubs are still open but really winding down and the morning places are just opening and just winding up. There should be a name for it. The streets of Kaohsiung never completely fall asleep. There's always something going on. It's dead, or it's near dead, but not completely dead. So the great thing about having breakfast at 5 o'clock in the morning is that you get a seat. The restaurant's hardly busy at all. The other thing is, it's a really interesting time of day because it's a time of day where the night people are meeting the morning people. So you get girls who are very heavily perfumed and dressed up, meeting the factory workers. That was so good. I could have that again. The Taiwanese breakfast is unbelievable. You can't go wrong. It's got all the right combination of flavors and textures. It's got flakiness, saltiness, sweetness, bitterness. It's got slipperiness. Did I mention flakiness already? Flakiness. Bit of crunchiness with the veggies. So you get a Xiaobing youtiao, add an egg and veggies. It's like the perfect sandwich. Yeah, definitely the perfect breakfast sandwich. You're gonna get the the idea from watching my videos that the only things I do are eat breakfast, hike in the mountains, and hang around the harbor. And that's pretty accurate, all in all. You think about it, it's a very balanced lifestyle. I've got the exercise, 9,000 steps to go around the so-called easy route, the classic route on the hike. 9,000 steps. Hanging around a scenic location, the harbor, watching the boats go by. And look at this, even in a city of 3 million people, I got the whole sidewalk to myself. I just made that up, about 3 million. I don't know how many people live in Kaohsiung. Could be 3 million though. Someone write in the comments below how many people live here. I got a Fantuan in my bag. I like saying Fantuan. I got a Fantuan in my bag. It's warm. I'm not even hungry, but I'll probably eat it. So there's the Xiaobei, my favorite everything store, which reminds me, I gotta buy some soap and a soap dish. It's open 24 hours. What a great store. I mentioned last year how much I like Xiaobei, because you can buy everything there. Pens, paper, cleaning products, beer, shampoo, shoes. I can't think of anything that Xiaobei doesn't have. Furniture. It has everything. If you need 3 feet of hose, you can get it there. So I'm gonna go get my hair buzzed off later today. So before I do that, I'm gonna go to Chat GPT and get some haircut vocabulary. Buzz cut. Number 1. Something like that, I guess. See what comes up. I'm always very ill prepared for these questions. When you get up early like I've been doing, you notice that a lot of things don't open until 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. Although I admire and appreciate the Taiwanese people, I think most of them really miss the boat on the best time of day in Taiwan. It's now. It's not at 9 o'clock at night. Of course, things stay open really late, so I can understand not wanting to open up your shop until 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. All these mom and pop shops, they have lives too. They probably go to the morning market and do other stuff before opening their shop in the morning. I walk around like this, talking to my phone or to one of my little cameras, and I sometimes think, is any of this useful? Of course the answer is no. For me, this is something to do, something for fun. That's all. There's no deeper meaning here. There's no monetary gain. Here's a place behind me. If you ever want to have a really weird and terrible hamburger experience, Moss Burger. I love hamburgers. I could eat hamburgers every day. But Moss Burgers are just weird. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, the Japanese have this propensity for taking something that's already good. The Japanese have this propensity for taking something that's already good and making it better. Think about automobiles in the 70s and electronics. Think about whiskey. But not hamburgers. I don't know what they were thinking. Clearly, we missed something there. I'd like to point out something that is probably obvious to anyone who's been paying attention. This baseball cap is a few years old. Originally, I think it belonged to one of my daughters. My t-shirt cost $5. My shorts, I got at Walmart for $20. But my shoes are worth $200. And this is why. Because I'm a walker. I do this in Canada too. Walk around aimlessly. If you've got a half hour to kill, really, you got two options. Take a nap or take a hike. I like to do both. Not at the same time. This is good content. This is good content. Are you still with me? So I'm a little embarrassed to admit this because I've been coming to Kaohsiung for several years in a row. I spent months and months here. I only know about 10 street names. I know everything by landmarks. I never bothered to learn anything about, where things are, what things are called. I'm so lazy. I am Mr. Chabudo. Chabudo Shenshin. Yeah, it's good enough. I know how to get there. I can Google it. I can look it up. I've been feeling a lot like Bob Harris in Lost in Translation. Up in the wee hours of the morning. So in a lot of cities, I won't mention any names like Toronto or Portland. I wouldn't feel safe walking around this time of day. Too many rapers out there. But in Kaohsiung, you never have to worry about that sort of stuff. It's so good. It's really nice down here. So I'm going for a haircut later today. Probably about 9:30, 10 by the look of it. But before I go, I wanted to get some vocabulary. So I went to Chat GPT and I said, I need Mandarin vocabulary to get a haircut. And Chat GPT came back with Jianfa. Okay, no problem. Some other ones, fashing, hairstyle, cut it shorter, Jianduan, Idian. But what I really want is a buzz cut. So I typed that into Chat GPT and it said, if you want to request a buzz cut in Mandarin, you say Li Guan Tou, Li Guan Tou, Li Guan Tou, which translates into give me a buzz cut. But I think from past experience, you can order it by saying, I want number 1, which is Yi Hao. So I think with Li Guantou and Yi Hao and Jian Tofa, I should be able to get a haircut later today. Traveling is so much easier when you have the internet at your fingertips. You have no idea the struggles 30 or 40 years ago. But now you just go to ChatGPT, go to Google, and you are golden. Well, I hope we are. Update this later. So I wanted to show you something. I'm watching the sunrise on my old iPhone 5 time lapse. Don't let the lack of good camera gear stop you from making videos. The best camera you have is the one that you have with you. And in my case, it's an iPhone 5. Yeah, I know. iPhone 5. Still good though, still works. Just think what I could do if I wanted to buy myself a decent camera setup. The truth is, at breakfast this morning, I had no compunction. I had no compunction. The truth is, if you pull out a cell phone and record yourself, no one bats an eye anymore. But you get one of these big honking cameras with a telephoto lens, people are going to look at you like, hey, what's this guy doing? But with a cell phone, I could be talking to the missus. I could be, checking Google Maps or something. The cell phone is really an awesome tool to have for vloggers like me. Look at this baby too. This is going to be gorgeous. I can tell already. So let's practice that a couple more times. Li Guantou, Yi Hao. 可以一号吗? Li Guantou, Yi Hao. 好不好? Li Guantou. What are those tones? Third flat rising. Third flat second. 3 1 2. 3 1 2. Li Guantou. Li Guantou, Yi Hao. Li Guantou, Yi Hao. You know what? Yi Hao is probably good enough. 可以一号吗? 一号 一号 好不好? This is how you learn Mandarin. Learning Mandarin with Bob. I should do a whole video on how I learn how to get the stuff I need and want. Mostly need. I need a haircut. Li Guantou, Li Guantou, Li Guantou. Li Guantou. I think I got it. Li Guantou. I mean, in the context, I think I'll get what I need. Alrighty then. That was my morning walkabout. 6,000 steps. It's 10 to 7 in the morning now. I'm heading for the MRT. I'm gonna ride that home. This will only be the second time I've been on it. The first time was from the airport. I got nothing to say. On the way home, although it's not even 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to stop at the Shao Bay, buy some soap and some beer. Somehow I always seem to run out of beer.